Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's your man, Adam Ace Spencer, and today we are diving into my credit card management system. Yes, I actually have a little system that I created here inside of ClickUp. And of course, I'll have a link down below to ClickUp. And ultimately, this helps me to manage all of my credit cards and kind of get a better idea as to when I do and don't want to use a particular card. And along with managing my credit cards, I use ClickUp to manage, everything. It's my general to-do list, all of our videos that you see on this channel and other channels, and just other various projects, personal as well as business, tasks and things that I need to do or notes. ClickUp is my go-to, and I definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't used any sort of project management system like it before. And of course, you can do something similar to what we have here with other project management systems. You do not need to use ClickUp for this. You can use Monday.com or various others. So without further ado, we are gonna dive into this, and I'm gonna just again share what I am doing, what I have done to help me get a good grip on my credit cards and specifically the rewards. Certainly staying on top of my credit cards in terms of managing them and helping me with rebuilding or building my credit has always been very important to me. But now that I'm in a place, and not even now that I'm in this place, I mean, I've had this for quite a while now. So, I definitely think it's something that you can create for yourself at any time throughout your credit building journey. But with me in particular, now that I've pretty much made it to this, the place of my goals of trying to get to the 800 club, I decided, let me jump in here and make sure everything is up to date and looking good. And to my surprise, of course, it's not entirely up to date. I actually did recently get another business credit card. This time I got it for my DBA. So I have my actual LLC, and then I have a DBA business, my self-employed business. So, I'm making a strong point to let you know that you do not need to have an actual LLC or S Corp or partnership to attain a business credit card. A lot of gurus out there, a lot of these YouTube experts will give you the impression that you cannot get a business credit card unless you have an LLC, S Corp, or partnership. But I'm here to let you know that is not true. I may have made a video sharing the actual card, what card it is, but I may not have told you guys that I had received it for my DBA. So, not to drift off topic, and that will be a video for another day, but it is something I think a lot of people don't fully understand or are aware of when it comes to being able to attain business credit cards. You do not need an S Corp, or partnership, an LLC. Now, it's encouraged, and generally that's the process that most people take. As you can see here, I have a business credit card up here under my business section. If you look over in this column, it says brand, and brand is basically, this is something I use this for another project management system inside of ClickUp. So I just use the same column, the same field, but brand, or in this case, this is one of my companies, Chell Brown LLC. So that's what you see listed here. But just going through the actual fields and the columns and the way I designed this before I actually update this and show you guys, how I go about adding a new credit card. So first things first, you obviously have the top section, which is focused on business credit cards. And then you have the bottom section over here, which is focused on personal credit cards. But ultimately you have the task, which in my particular case, each task is its own credit card. And so you have Chase Inc. Business Unlimited, Chase Freedom Unlimited, Capital One Quicksilver One, Amazon Prime Rewards, Chase Sapphire Preferred, Chase Freedom Flex, DCU Platinum, Capital One Platinum. Now, the first column that we see here is anything. And again, this is my credit card reward system. Not, management to let me know like what cards I have. Maybe if a card's not active anymore, I might want to keep it on here, but add a column over here that says active or inactive. But ultimately, I use it to help me with understanding which credit cards I want to use and when. And so this is my credit card point reward system. So the first column you see here is sorting by anything. And this ultimately is allowing us to sort this column by, the highest. But anything is referring to the reward points that can be used towards anything. So you have some reward points, some credit cards that give you reward points for 2% for everything. Some will be 1.5, as you can see here with Chase Inc. Business Limited, as well as the Chase Freedom Unlimited and my Capital One Quicksilver. And then my other cards will give me 1 point for anything, including my Amazon Prime Rewards, Chase Sapphire Preferred, and Chase Freedom Flex. And then at the bottom, you can see I have these 2 credit cards where I will not receive any reward points at all for any purchases. Again, this is helping me just understand or know, like, my goal is to always get reward points. Off of this, you can already say and already tell, like, okay, if there's a level of what credit card I'm going to prioritize and what card I'm going to use first, we would start with, if it's for business purpose, my Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, or if it's for personal purposes, my Chase Freedom Unlimited or my Capital One Quicksilver 1. And the reason is because I'll get 1.5 reward points for any purchase when I use any of these 3 cards. After that column is the bank column, and this is just, again, allowing us to easily identify the bank that the credit card belongs to. You can see Chase here, and then we got Capital One, then Chase, then DCU, and then Capital One. I just, color coded them a little bit, let them kind of align with their brand colors. And the next column we have is brand, which again, brand is, I use this same column, the same custom field in other projects here inside of ClickUp. So I just kept the name here, brand, but ultimately it's your brand name, business. So if you have multiple businesses like I do, you might want to have this in here so that okay, this is this business card. And then if you have another credit card for your other business, which we're going to go through the steps that I take to add a credit card to this. And that other business, that other card I add belongs to another business. So you want to easily be able to identify which business the credit card belongs to. The next column is restaurants. Then we got gas, groceries, streaming, drugstores, Amazon, Whole Foods. If we scroll over, you can see travel. And then I added a little note section as well. And it pretty much should speak for itself. Again, I just came in here, I updated all of these to align with the appropriate card. And now, if I'm out and about, and maybe you don't want to come in here again with ClickUp, it's really cool because you might be out and about and not have time to come in here and look and see, okay, which one is the best one under streaming. Because right now you guys might be like, okay, this is helpful, I guess, if you want to sort and go through it all. But what do you do to kind of sort it and organize it in a way that's going to allow you to easily find what card you're looking for? The beautiful thing with ClickUp is that you can group your tasks or credit cards with a particular view by coming up here, and you can see right now we have it grouped by status, and it's just by status. But if we come up here where it says the list, and you can see that little drop down bar where it says 3, you can actually see that I've saved a few different views already. And so for me, the main views that I pretty much need to see or want to see is just the regular list view that we have right now, and that is primarily tied to the anything column. But then we have eat out view, which I think this is also aligned with restaurant. Yeah. So for me, eat out view is basically my restaurant view. So again, I came to this view and now I can easily see which credit cards I get the most reward points for under the restaurant, if I go out and eat out category. So this is going to allow me to know which credit cards I want to consider using and which cards I don't. And you can kind of see the pattern here with my all of my cards, which cards we pretty much never use. I kind of just use them for emergencies or the 1 or 2 monthly reoccurring expenses that I have where I know I just pay it off in full. And I always keep Capital One Platinum and my DCU Platinum cards paid off completely, because I pretty much rarely use them. I don't get reward points for them. The cards that I do use most frequently, you can imagine, are the ones that give me the most reward points. So in this case, when it comes to food and restaurants and whatnot, eating out, Chase Freedom Unlimited, Chase Sapphire Preferred, or Chase Freedom Flex are my go-to because I get 3 reward points for any of those anytime I use those cards. The other view that I created up here is the gas view, and similar to the restaurant view, gas view is going to show us which one gives us the most reward points when we use it. Right now, it's my Chase Freedom Flex card, where I get 5 reward points, and that's just easily more than all of my other cards, so it's not even a question. Unlike the restaurant column or view, there were a few different options. In this particular case, we have obviously a few different options, but not really, because one is clearly higher than the others, so it's a no-brainer as to which credit card I'm going to lean towards when it comes to gas. Now, you can easily create your own view in here if you wanted to focus on maybe streaming, drugstores, Amazon, Whole Foods. Maybe you're someone who travels. Then you would want to consider creating a view that shows you the card that gives you the most travel reward points. And all I did was clicked on it. And like anytime you go to these columns, you'll see the little arrow here, sort, and you click it, and it's going to allow you to sort by that column. And then if you click it twice, then you can kind of change it so that the lowest will be on the top and then the highest will be on the bottom. But the way we have it now is exactly how we would want it. Now, the only thing is right now, this is going to save it under the current view. So if we come down here and click save, you can see now it says saved. But again, I think the problem when you do it just like that, of course, is that it's going to save it under the gas view. And this is not the gas view. This is the travel view. Although it does still have the gas view highlighted with it, so this is going to be a little funky in that case, but all you would do is click the X to clear it. So in this case, if we want to clear under the gas view, since we have travel highlighted, we don't want to see travel, we only want to see gas, we're going to clear that. Now we have just gas showing us just the gas ones and which one pays us the most, which again is Chase Freedom Flex. We're going to come back over here, click save. Now the gas view is saved. Now, one thing that's really important to note, and the reason why I added this notes column, is because sometimes there might be a scenario or situation where there's kind of a little stipulation with a particular credit card and a category. In this case, you can see it says notes, and then it says gas is 5% for 1 year, then goes down to 5% travel through Chase Ultimate Rewards, $200 cash back after spending $500 in first 3 months, 5% cash back quarterly bonus category. So I just wrote some notes here that are just relevant to this particular card that I want to be mindful of. So this 5% for 1 year, I might want to go and check, do every once in a while, I'll check and see, or, I kind of know when I got the Chase Freedom card, Chase Freedom Flex card. And so I know, okay, I still have another 4 months or another 3 months of 5 reward points for any time I spend on gas at a gas station. Down here, if you look on the Chase Sapphire Preferred note, you can see it says online groceries only. And then it says $200 cash back after spending $500 in first 3 months. But that online groceries only is very important to note, because if we looked right here, we would have, I came in here and I changed it. Maybe, I don't think it's even up the time period. I think it's always online groceries, where I believe you get 5, or maybe it's 3, but it's more than what you see here, which is 1. And I initially had it with that larger amount, but then I said, you know what? I don't want to confuse myself. I'm not always going to look at the notes. If I'm on the go, sometimes, I might just pull this up. I might click on, a particular view up here. And if it shows up as number 1 and I don't look at notes, then, I'm going to use the wrong card. So right now it actually says 1. Just because usually if I'm doing grocery shopping, I don't do it online, and I'm going to, Stop and Shop or Wegmans or wherever, Whole Foods. And so I'll see the 1 here. But like I just said, Whole Foods, we actually have a list over here dedicated to Whole Foods, and you can actually see there's a 5 in this column. So I'm going to use my Amazon Prime Rewards card instead of any other card, because I get 5 reward points. So again, it's just a real simple management system to help you with getting insight into what credit cards to use and when. As you start to get more and more cards, it's not so easy to always remember, and I know I'm not always the best now. I'm not maximizing the opportunity to get the most points because I'm not always pulling this out. Sometimes I'm in a rush, I'm on a go, but I'm getting more and more familiar with what cards to use and when. And having this just is a nice way to assure that, okay, this is in fact the right card I want to use during these situations, and then I want to use this card in these other situations. I hope all of this has been helpful for you guys so far. Again, this is my actual, my real credit cards that I use, my real ClickUp account, the real deal over here on this channel, on all of our channels. And, really trying to help share some game with you guys that'll help you with your credit building or your credit card journey. And just appreciate you guys for watching. And if you guys appreciate this content so far, definitely smash that thumbs up. And of course, hit the subscribe button with the bell notification, so when we release upcoming videos, you'll always be notified. All right, my friends. So now the next most important thing that you want to do is add a credit card to your credit card management system. So in this case, all I'm going to do is come to the appropriate section. It's a business credit card that I have. So I'm going to click on new task here, and we're going to call it Chase. We'll save that. We're going to come to the fields that we know off the top of our head, which is bank, Chase, brand. And again, I use this for so many of my both of my businesses and project management, customers, and so on and so on. So if you create it like this, you probably only have one business, or maybe you have two businesses. You probably don't have a trillion different things. But again, I use our columns and these custom fields in different systems here inside of ClickUp. So it won't be this kind of chaotic for you guys. But for brand, or my other company that this credit card is for, which again, it's for my DBA, not an LLC, Adam Helper, we'll just fill that in there. And then we can go about updating each of the appropriate columns. So the first one is, how many reward points do I get for everyday purchases with this particular card? It is 1 brochure that I saved. Then if we look at restaurants, it looks like it is 2% cash back on the first $25,000 spent in combined purchases at gas stations and restaurants each anniversary year. So I'll write 2% here, but this would be the type of credit card that you would want to come over to the note section and add some sort of note that specifically says, 2% cash back on first $25,000 in combined gas stations and restaurants each anniversary year. I might want to have that whole note listed in here. Or if you don't believe you will reach or exceed $25,000 with the combined purchases at gas stations, which gas station is next, so we can actually update that right now, but the combined purchases at gas stations and restaurants, then you don't have to worry about making any kind of note that's really highlighting that, because you're not going to be anywhere remotely close to it, so it won't really matter. And the funny thing is, since we're using the gas view up here, you can see it actually updated the which card is showing first and which one's not showing first, because our new credit card is actually giving us more reward points than my old business credit card. So I already know, moving forward, that might be the business credit card I use when I'm getting business done, especially for Adam Helper. Now, again, this isn't legal or financial advice. And of course, one of the things you want to be mindful of is using the appropriate card. So again, if it's not business expenses, don't use your business credit cards. If it's personal, use your personal credit cards. We might want to update the grocery section to 1, because this is not something where you get multiple reward points. Streaming 1, drugstores 1, Amazon 1, Whole Foods 1, travel 1. However, if I look closely at the reward systems with this particular card, you actually get 5% cash back on the first $25,000 spent in combined purchases at office supply stores and on internet, cable, and phone services each anniversary year. So right now, I don't have a dedicated column that is showing me that information. So this might be where you want to consider adding a new column that does show this information. So that way we aren't dropping the ball anywhere. We're not missing out on reward points that we would want to get. So I'm going to come over here to add a column. We'll scroll down to number, and we'll call this office, add column. Now we have office supplies. So now we'll go to Chase Inc. Business Cash right here at the top. We're going to update that to 5. And I don't believe any of my other cards give me extra reward points specifically towards office supplies, and I don't know that for sure, so I'm gonna have to spend some time and just check out each card and come in here and update it appropriately based off of what my findings. Keeping it moving, we know that I also get 5% cash back with this card on internet, cable, and phone services as well. Now, to me, those 3 things kind of seem like they could be grouped together: internet, cable, and phone, right? Internet, cable, and phone. I think those can be their own columns. So we're going to come over here, add a column, come down to number, and do internet, cable, phone. And again, I'm going to just update our new card, add 5, press return, and bam. Now, the one thing I might want to come in here and do is move the note column over to the outside of those, so it's on the outside, and we can still see these two columns along with all of our other columns. All right, so at this point, we have a new card that's here inside of our credit card management system, and we have a few views, right? When you come up here, you can see a few different views, but if we click right here on add list view, and you have list, and we just do add view. All right, so one thing I'm just noticing is the different views won't always show all of the columns if they weren't there when you initially created them. And so right now we have these office supplies and internet, cable, and phone. If I come up here and I click on eat out view, you don't see those other two columns. So we're going to come down here and we'll click on number and we'll close number, maybe cut all this part out. So now we have, you do show hide and then goes in the list. Yep, you come all the way down. Yeah, so when you do come to a different view, sometimes it won't have all of the fields or the columns, excuse me, that you may have added to another view. So all you're going to do is click on add a column, click on show hide, excuse me, scroll all the way down and find the new columns that you would like to add. So in this case, it's office supplies as well as internet, cable, and phone. Now I'm going to do the same thing, just move the note outside and bam, there we go. So maybe we want to change that on the last view. I think it's a gas view. Nope, it is the anything view. Same difference, we don't see it. Click on column, click on show hide, scroll all the way down. Internet, phone, cable, and then office supplies. Come over here, drag the note to the outside, and bam. So at this point, the only other thing you might want to consider doing is creating a new kind of view. It's going to easily allow you to find what is your top office supplies or internet, cable, and phone provider option, or maybe something that's focused on travel, right? So we click on sort by, and now we still have two different things selected though. So we're going to come over here and undo anything, and then we just have it based off of our travel, but right now it's not the highest at the top. So we're going to press it again. Now you can see we have the highest number on the top for our business credit cards, and then down here for our personal credit cards. Yeah, so we don't want to go that process. Instead, we're going to delete this, and instead all you're going to do is come to any of your other views that you've already created. You're going to come to the three dots, do duplicate as list, and then you got a brand new duplicated view. You're going to rename this, click on the little pen, keep view, and say, depending on which new column, which category you want to add, travel, got that there. Now you're going to come in here, click on one, remove it from restaurants, and then come to travel, click on the sort little arrow on travel, and then do it again so that it's showing you from the top down, highest from the top first. And then you're going to come down here to the bottom right and click save. Now we have a travel view that's going to show us which credit card pays us the most based off of travel reward points, travel expenses. So my friends, I'm giving you guys the full, not only the introduction and the 411, but I'm actually showing you guys how I update this, how I create this, and the steps that you can take to get more organized when it comes to your credit cards and being as efficient and optimizing, making the most of the opportunity that you have when it comes to getting reward points for your everyday business and personal expenses that you were going to spend on anyway. So why not have some sort of system to help you with knowing when to use which card for what expenses. So my friends, I hope this video was helpful, a little motivational, encouraging. If you have any thoughts, or maybe you have some suggestions or advice, or you just want to say you love it, comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys and hear, maybe there's something else that's easier. I think they are starting to, we're starting to see apps, software that's starting to pop up to help you with organizing this stuff. I mean, do you guys have any software or a particular app that you are using to organize your credit card reward system? Let me know. Comment down below. Help a brother out, because that's what I'm doing over here, trying to help y'all out and showing you guys exactly what I'm doing with my credit building journey. So on that note, you already know what it is. I gotta keep it moving, but much appreciation for watching. Smash that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you want to stay up to date on all of our latest and upcoming videos, like this video coming up next.